Alright, so today's the last day of 2020. Thank the Lord. And so I decided to end 2020 by doing some top tens. Going over some of my favorite things that happened this year. And, like one of my favorite games, my favorite anime, my favorite TV shows, all of that. And there could be more lists coming out. But today, we're going to be covering my top 10 games of 2020. Now, here's the thing with this, okay? So these are in no particular order, even though there is a particular order in a way. I'll get to that in a little bit, but yeah, these are the games that I played in 2020 that came out specifically in 2020. There are some exceptions to this list. I will get to that later, I'll get to it when it comes to it. But yeah, we're just gonna count down my top 10 games of 2020, and hopefully my top 10 anime of 2020 should be out next year in the new year, the greatest year. Alright, so yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, number 10. Okay, technically, first up we have some honorable mentions. Now, um, I think these games were good, somewhat, but just didn't quite make the list. So for me, I have FIFA 21. I really enjoyed it. Pretty good, really good game. Same thing with Tetris Effect Connected, good game. Pokemon Sword and Shield Expansion Pass. I had that because it's like all new stuff, so that was pretty good. Spellbreak was a very unappreciated and underrated game. I think it didn't get as much love as it deserved. Same thing with Hyperscape. Marvel's Avengers got more hate than it deserved, but I still really enjoyed it, even though there are some really big issues. And Planet Coaster Console Edition is Planet Coaster. Come on now, what's not to say about it? And so yeah, and I loved how three of these games that are on my mentions list are Xbox Series X and S. Um, Optimized. So I just got an Xbox Series S lately, which I will make a video on probably, and they look amazing on the new consoles, along with some stuff like Forza, Destiny, Assassin's Creed, and Fortnite. All those games, you can enjoy a lot. All right, first up we have Super Hot Mind Control Elite. Now I'm not finished with this game. I'm currently playing it on my Switch. Um, Emphasis on currently because I haven't played in a little bit. But yeah, I still really enjoy this game. I think it's a great game. Pretty good story. I think it's just a genuinely fun but rage-inducing game. So the point of this game is you're just this thing. I don't know what it is. You're just a thing with guns, knives, like all over the floor, and you move in slow motion, or slow motion. You have to think. So the enemies, which are all over the map, if you know how Super Hot works, the enemies are constantly in slow motion, and when you move, everything goes back to regular speed. So you essentially have to just make decisions. You can take your time to make decisions, and you could you can also look around. Looking around doesn't increase the speed. I don't think. And if you take too long and the enemy is firing at you and you're taking too long to think of what to do, you will die. So it is what it is. But still think it's a great game that you should just go out and play if you just want to have some fun. Star Wars Squadrons is the very definition of what I wanted in a Star Wars game. A Star Wars game where I could just fly around and just fly around in space and do campaign missions, multiplayer modes, and just have fun. I love flying around in an X-wing or a TIE fighter, like just but without the confusing controls like in Star Wars Battlefront. And this is just a good game. Has a pretty good story. I do say so myself, if I do say so myself, and I just really enjoyed it. Fall Guys is one of those games where while people don't talk about it anymore, and I think Gen it does get a whole lot of hate. I still enjoyed it for what it was and when it was around. Because it was just a nice distraction from what was going on in this world. And a lot of these games were, but Fall Guys especially, along with another game later on this list, was just a nice distraction, and you were able to play with your friends, and you were able to just have a fun, goofy time. Also raging as well. because that's a video game. It's just essentially some massive obstacle course battle royale thing, and it is if you could get around the hate, it is pretty fun. Valorant. There's not too much I have to say about this. It's just CS:GO, but made by Riot Games, who, if you didn't know, made League of Legends. But yeah, nah, there's not that much I have to say about this. I love the game. I love the art style. I just really enjoy it a lot. There's nothing too much I have to say about this game. All right, Black Ops Cold War. I have issues with this game. I have my issues. I think I think the game is too easy, but at the same time, that's why I could enjoy it because the thing with Modern Warfare is like it was way too hard. People were camping all the time, and you don't see that in this game. I haven't touched Warzone yet. Neither if I know Warzone is out or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's a good game. I haven't I I have my complaints about there's some bugs, but I still recommend playing this. Ninjala. Okay, this game came out on Nintendo Switch earlier this year, and well, not earlier this year, a couple months ago, and I just really enjoy it for what it is. It's another like battle royale type, but I would like if I were to like say a combination, like if I had to compare it to other games, I'd compare it most to a combination of Splatoon and ARMS. That's what I would say because you have multiple different weapons. It just feels like It just feels like ARMS and Splatoon. The art style feels like Splatoon. Um, the combat feels like ARMS, and overall, I just think I thought it was a good game. Um, for what it was, it was just a very enjoyable game that you could take hours into and still have fun. All right, so this is the one. This is the one that I was like, okay, I'm not so sure if I would put it on, but because of its massive blow up in 2020, I'm gonna put it on. This is Among Us, and so the reason why I put Among Us on here is because it still is because it's still extremely popular. It's just a great game that you could like if you want to grab 10 people or like 4 to 10 people to just have fun and play the social deduction game and yell at each other and stuff like that and possibly ruin friendships. This is the perfect game. And like the only reason why I was hesitating to put this on the list is because technically it didn't come out in 2020. It actually came out in 2018, but it blew up in 2020. Everybody started playing it, so I think that's why I put this on the list. But overall, I just thought Among Us was a great game. Enjoy. It just came out on Nintendo Switch. It's been out on PC and mobile, and it's coming to Xbox Game Pass next year. So Xbox Game, it's already on Xbox Game Pass for PC. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass console next year. So yeah, take that, your console war PlayStation fanboys that won't stop attacking people. Animal Crossing New Horizons. There's nothing too much to say about this, other than it was from day one. It was a great game. It's still a good game. I just think a lot of people aren't playing it anymore because of the state of the world we are in now. It came out at the perfect time, the quarantine era, the really hard quarantine era, and that's why I think everybody got together, just really enjoyed the game and had fun just meeting animals on the island and just building your island. And that's what the game's about. That's Animal Crossing. It's Animal Crossing in a nutshell, and I love it. Dragon Quest XI Echoes Elusive Age Definitive Edition on the Xbox One. Now, this is another one I debated putting on the list because technically the original Dragon Quest XI has been out for like 2 years. And the Dragon Quest XI has been out for a year on the Switch, but I decided to put this on the list because it's the Xbox One edition, and it's just a good game. It has a excellent story, excellent characters. The character design is pretty good. Akira Toriyama, um, mangaka of Dragon Ball, just he 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 outdid himself with these designs, and it's the combat's great, the villains are great, the voice acting is pretty good for what it is, and it's just a fun game that is is very very serious, but at the same time is very goofy, and that's just me describing a Square Enix game in a nutshell. So yeah, I would really suggest playing this game if you just want a good RPG to sink all your time in. 2. I am almost done with the game. I am on the final boss, Morrigan, as you would say, and at the fortress at the sky. And I have, like, my goodness, over like 60, 70 hours in this game, and it just came out on Xbox One early this month. So I would really recommend it. Also, I heard this has a pretty good post game. So finally, I completely messed up the picture, but whatever. This is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Now, um, it's just a good game with a good story, with good combat system. The world's great, the characters are great, the voice acting is pretty good, and it's Xenoblade. What else? Like, I think we could all agree that this is the best out of the series. I know Xenoblade X focused more on exploration, and Xenoblade 2 focused more on like the combat, and then Xenoblade 1's main drive was a story. But I still think that the exploration and combat was great in this game. I personally prefer the combat in this over Xenoblade 2. Um, this is my personal opinion. I know it has a post game that I haven't gotten to yet. I need to get to it, but yeah, it's just a genuinely good game. I really enjoy. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Those are my top 10 video games of 2020. Gosh dang it. Yeah, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.